नमस्ते सर्वेभ्यः। अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। अपरोक्षानुभूति शंकराचार्य विरचित एवं विद्यारण्यमुनिना विरचित दीपिका व्याख्यासहितम् अनुवर्तते। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम तत्सत्। शोभा भगिनी।
महोदय। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्। हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। नमः सर्वेभ्यः।
धन्यवादः भगिनी।
धन्यवादः।
चन्तु महोदय, कैन यू रीड द फर्स्ट श्लोका?
महोदय। भाववृत्त्या हि भावत्वं शून्यवृत्त्या हि शून्यता ब्रह्मवृत्त्या हि पूर्णत्वं तथा पूर्णत्वं व्यस्येत्।
पूर्णत्वम् अभ्यसेत्।
पूर्णत्वम् अभ्यसेत्। पदविच्छेदः। भाववृत्त्या हि भावत्वं शून्यवृत्त्या हि शून्यता ब्रह्मवृत्त्या हि पूर्णत्वं तथा पूर्णत्वम् अभ्यसेत्। अन्वयः। भाववृत्त्या हि भावत्वं भवति शून्यवृत्त्या हि शून्यता भवति ब्रह्मवृत्त्या पूर्णत्वं हि भवति तथा पूर्णत्वम् अभ्यसेत् जनः। वृत्तिरेव बन्धमोक्ष कारणम् इति याः भावेति भाववृत्त्या घटाद्याकारवृत्त्या भावत्वं तन्मयत्वं भवति इति शेषः शून्यवृत्त्या अभाववृत्त्या शून्यता जडति इति अर्थः। हिति लोकप्रसिद्धौ तथा ब्रह्मकारवृत्त्या पूर्णत्वं हिति विद्वत् प्रसिद्धौ ततः किमत् आह पूर्णत्वम् इति।
धन्यवादः महोदय।
धन्यवादः।
Now here in this shloka, what is being told is, what are the type of mental thoughts we are engaging, that is the cause, or that is what results in our own enjoyments or in our experiences. Bhava vrittya hi bhavatvam. Now, if the world is real and we are keeping that thought in our mind, the world will appear to be real always. Now, there are Shunyavadins who think, no, the cause for these things is not there. It is Shunyata. So those who are engaging or entertaining Shunya Vritti, Vritti means thought flows. Shunya Vritti, so for them, what they achieve is Shunyata. Because when they are looking for the thoughts to be annihilated, Chittavritti Nirodha, or even Shunyata, the Brahma Buddha followers. So for them, the Shunyata will be the result. Same way, Brahmavritya hi Purnatvam. Brahma is Sampurnam. Purnatvam eva Brahma. That Brahma is the totality. So if we are entertaining or we are engaging ourselves, Abhyased means practicing that Sarvam Khalidam Brahma. So all Purnatvam, then Purnatvam eva Bhavayit. That is what will be the result of the follow. This is in the continuation to the Nididhyasana what we have been discussing till now. So what thoughts we entertain will decide as to what is the result of that. Because the thoughts have got the tendency to project itself as reality outside. So vritti reva bodhanda moksha karanam ityadaha. That means the vritti or the thought flows alone is the cause for the bondage or the freedom from life. Bhaved iti bhava vritya gadakara vritya bhavatvam tanmayatvam bhavati iti sheshaha. Now, example is given is that we are thinking the pot is real, not analyzing when the pot is being used and everything. So for us, the reality of the pot is the reality, what we are transacting with. The vritti that pot is made of mud will give us the reality of the purnatvam of the gadam is purnam of mud, or the completeness of the pot is made of mud, is that knowledge will not persist in us when we are engaging with the pot. Because our thought flows are that the pot is a reality. It is not that pot is not a reality, but that is only a name and form for the mud. So, engaging in the world with the similar practice, that is, what is the reality behind all experiences, if we are not able to engage or entertain that thought flow, the thought flow of the name and form of the world become the reality for us. Same way, Shunya Vritya atava Abhava Vritya Shunyata Jadate Tyartha. Suppose if those people who are practicing Shunyavada, or those who are saying that there is no reality only, that is the negative part of it. Bhavatvam is one side, Abhavatvam is another side. You should not have both the aspects of it. While we say that the name and form of the reality, we should also be careful that we are not going to negate the world is not real. Abhavatvam, or absence of the experiences. No, we are not saying that the world is not being experienced. But Loka prasiddham brahmakara vritya purnatvam hi vidvat prasiddhau tada kimataha purnatvam iti. Now Vedanta prasiddham, or the Upanishad prasiddham is what is that? Is the world is real or the world is truth as Brahma or the Satchitananda or Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma. That in that reality, like the pot is a reality because of the mud, the world is also real, but not in the shape of name and form, which is because they are all anitya or impermanent. Their name and form keeps on changing. But there is a undercurrent or a unbroken awareness in which all these things come up. That is the reality of the world. That is the Purnatam, and that is undivided. There is no void of in that where we can not have an awareness. So Purnatam means it's the completeness or it is full. Purnam, there is no word which we can use in English equal to that. Even when we say full, we will think of a space where it is getting filled up. There is nothing called a space in which it can be filled up. Now, even we say space, there is a limit up to which we can think about the space. We'll think about the cosmos or the universe, but even that is within the mind. So from that point of also, we have no equal word for Purnatvam in English, but for our purpose, the closest which we can think about is the space. But even better than the space is the awareness. At least that is a personal thing which all of us are living and breathing and eating and sleeping and doing everything in that awareness only. So complete awareness, Brahmakara Vritti, that is the Brahmakara Vritti. So here Brahma is, even though it is for the totality is in the substratum of awareness. So Purnatvam is from the awareness point of view. So one who abhyases, one who practices that thought flow, that all this is suspended in awareness, or these are all appearances in awareness, then Purnatvam Siddhayat. For such a person, he sees only awareness or the full completeness in everything. There is nothing which is devoid of that awareness. So there is nothing which can be, segregated out of it. Everything becomes one. Ekatvam anupashyata. He will feel the unison or the unity in everything. This is what this sloka is talking about. Vijaya Bhagini Patati va? Can you read it?
Anji. Suyate va ji? Suyate va?
Suyate.
Yehi vrittim jahat enam brahmakyam pavanim param te tu vrittaiva jivanti pashubhischa samanaraha. Parachedaka asti. Yehi vritti jahati enam brahmakyam pavanim param te tu vrittaiva jivanti pashubhischa sama naraha. Anvayah. Yehi enam param pavanim brahmakyam vrittim jahati te naraha. Jahati va jahati va? It is living only, no? That means
jahati prathama purusha bahuvachanam asti. Jahati iti prathama ekavachanam. Tasya bahuvachanam.
Dhanyavad. Astu astu astu. Jahati te naraha astu. Naraha atah jahati astu. Jahati te naraha tu vrittaiva jivanti pashubhihi cha samaha bhavanti. Idanim brahmamayim vrittim idanim brahmamayim vrittim stotum tad vritya
vrittityaga
tad vrittityaga paran nindati yehi nindanti kalu atra paran
nindanti
paran nindanti yehi iti ye yena brahmakyam vrittim jahati tyajanti te tu vrittaiva jivanti iti anvayah spashtamanyat. Tatra naraha what is this? Manusha rupena mrigaha charanti iti उसका नाम क्या है जी? भर्तृहरिणा उक्तम खलु नीति शतके.
Bhartrahariana, even in Upanishad there Supashitani api asti.
आम जी. धन्यवादः जी.
धन्यवादः. Yeha vrittim jahati enam brahmakyam pavanim param te tu tatrutyaiva jivanti pashubhischa samanaraha. Now here is the result of not doing the Brahma Purnatva Abhyaset in the what is told in the previous verse. Ye vrittim jahati, ye janaha vrittim, ye hi enam param pavanim brahmakyam vrittim jahati, te naraha tu vruddhaiva jivanti pashubhischa samabhavati. Now there is a famous subhashitam which is also quoted in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam chat samanyamedat pashuvirnaranam dharmo hitesham adiko vishesha dharmo vihina pashuvirnaranam. Ahara means food. Nidra, sleep. Bhayam is to show the feelings. Maitunam is procreation. Ahara, Nidra, Bhayam, Maitunam. All the four, Samanya Metat, Pashuvir Naranam, between the animals and the human being. Dharmo hitesham adiko vishesham. Among that, Dharma is the only one which makes man separate from the animals. Dharmo vihina pashubir samana. The man who lives without dharma, he is living a life of an animal, even though embodied as a human being. That is the Subhashitam, which is also is there in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. That is being reflected in this sloka. Yehi enam param pavanim brahmakyam vrittim jahati. Those people who do not follow the Brahma vritti in their mind, that unity or the purnatvam in the mind and treating every object of every creation is the form Brahma itself. That Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma alone is appearing in the different names and forms. If that vritti is not maintained, and if that pavanim vritti, that the sacred thought is not being maintained in the mind, te naraha, those men, tu vruthaiva jivanti, they are living in vain. They are not knowing what is life at all. Pashubhischa samabhavanti, they become like an animal. So this is what I told the Subhashitam also. Idanim brahmamayim vrittim stotum, in the praise of the Brahma vritti, tad vritti tyaga param nindati. Those who reject or those who do not follow that vritti and decrying them, yehi te enam brahmakyam vrittim jahati, those who do abandon this thought of Brahma or the purnatvam of the world, tyajanti, jahati means tyajanti, tu vridhaiva jivanti iti anvayaha, sarsham spashtam. They are like animals, because the vritti in their mind is separatedness is real, and then there is a name and form. Therefore the qualities likes, dislike, hatred, love, all these things are forms of vritti in the mind, because you don't see the unity in everything. That unity, unless one sees, the world will be like an animal attracted by things and become prey to some things. So this is why the importance of the Brahmakya, that vritti of Purnatvam, is very important for us to maintain during the time of Nididasana, and that should become our practice, and that practice will lead us to our way of living towards that. Now for that there is an example also which is coming in not this verse, the verse after this. Chandu Mahodaya?
ये हि वृत्तिं विजानन्ति ज्ञात्वापि वर्धयन्ति ये ते वै सत्पुरुषा धन्या वन्ध्यास्ते भुवनत्रये पदच्छेदः ये हि वृत्तिं विजानन्ति ज्ञात्वा अपि वर्धयन्ति ये ते वै सत्पुरुषाः धन्याः वन्ध्याः ते भुवनत्रये। अन्वयः ये सत्पुरुषा ही वृत्तिं विजानन्ति ज्ञात्वा अपि ते और तां वर्धयन्ति ते वै धन्याः भवन्ति ते भुवनत्रये वन्द्याः भवन्ति। सम्प्रति तामेव वृत्तिं विवर 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 विवर्धयितुं ब्रह्मवृत्ति परान् सत्पुरुषान् स्तौति एहि इति स्पष्टम्। धन्यवादः महोदय।
ये हि वृत्तिं विजानन्ति ज्ञात्वा वर्धयन्ति ते वै सत्पुरुषा धन्या वद्यास्ते भुवनत्रये. Now such people are respected in all the three worlds in the Bhuvanatrayam. Here is giving an example of or the result of such thoughts. Ye purushaha, those people, vrittim vijananti, knowing what is the type of vritti that they are maintaining, jnatva, having understood what is the mental mind, how it is processing its own thoughts, that knowing he has vardhayanti, he cultivates that the brahmakara vritti in the mind, and these people are called satpurushaha. They are all called the saintly people, or the people who are following the sat marga, that is toward the truth, because others are getting deluded by the name and form of the world. So they become dhanyaha, they become blessed, and they also become mandyaha, means vandati. They become eligible for to be praised. Te bhuvanatraye, in the three worlds, the nether world, the world of experiences, and the world of higher worlds. In all the three, lower, upper, and middle world, bhuvanatraye, they become respected and given by. So for the Stutyartham, the Brahma Vritti Para Satpurushan Stauti, for the Stuti, or for the praising of those people who are following the Brahma Vritti. Samprati Tameva Vrittim Vivarvardhayidam Brahma Vritti Paran Satpurushan Stauti Idyetohi. This is what the sloka. There is nothing much here. Basically saying that we should be always entertaining that Purnatvam in our mind, and then you become Satpurusha, basically a person on the thing. Shobha Pagani, next sloka.
Mudaya. Yesham vritti samavruddha paripakva cha sa punaha te vai sad brahmatam prapta netare shabdavadinaha. Padachedaha. Yesham vritti samavruddha paripakva cha sa punaha te vai sad brahmatam praptaha na itare shabdavadinaha. Anvayaha. Yesham vritti samavruddha sa cha punaha paripakva te vai sad brahmatam praptaha itare shabdavadinaha na. Evam ब्रह्मवृत्ति परान् स्तुत्वा अधुना तेषां ब्रह्म प्राप्ति रूपं फलम् आहा येषाम् इति सुगमम् इति. धन्यवादः.
Now he is comparing here the two type of people. Yesham vritti samavruddha paripakva sa punaha tadeva brahmatvam prapta na idre shabdavadinaha. So those people who are cultivating the matured way of in which the Brahmavadina, Brahmatam is retaining of the qualities of Brahma in their mind, Vritti, Esham Vritti, Sad Brahmatam Prapta, they attain that Brahmata. They become Brahma. Brahma Brahmaiva Bhavati iti Shruti Vakyamasti. There is an Upanishad statement says, one who knows Brahma, he becomes Brahma himself. He becomes it. Because that is how we are being given the instruction from the Upanishad is that Brahma is not something separate from you. It is not something which is you are the observer, or you are the one who is attaining Brahmatvam, or you are something which is by your actions or meditation or even the yajna, dana, tapa, or all the sadhana, you are attaining something. This very moment, all of us are that. All we have to do is our vritti, which is thinking that we are not that. That has to be replaced with what is our real Swarupa, because if one pot can be understood as made from mud, is made of mud, is the pot is mud alone. Everything made of mud becomes mud in reality, even though the name and form appears. Gold, when it appears in the name and form of ornaments, we call it as a world of ornaments. But in reality, they are gold only, appearing as many ornaments. The water, when it appears as multiple waves and cloud and river, pond, etc., etc., it is nothing but water itself. So, from all these examples which the Upanishad has been telling us, how can you separate out? You are also part of the creation. We are, what makes you think that you are not part of the world, which everything is being made? You are also made of that only. So, that vritti in our mind that I am also the world, aham brahmasmi, that thought, when we are entertaining and vritti, that happens is, then brahmadam praptaha, then we become brahmaiva bhavati. So that is the time when we realize that our real nature is nothing, not the body, not the mind, no mano buddhi ahankara chitta ninaham. We are none of those things which we thought we are. We are Sadan Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am all the Chit Rupaha. I am the pure awareness form. That is the knowledge which is to be meant, and we become the knowledge. We identify ourselves with that awareness, not anymore with the body or the mind. We will see, or we may be observant, we may be acknowledging these informations or the experiences which is happening in awareness. And the happening in awareness has no independent existence if the awareness is not there. So they are all made of awareness only. It appears to be separate because of their functions. But they are all made of awareness. Like all the gold ornaments are made of the gold. All the world of experiences are nothing but awareness. So when we entertain and identify what is our reality, and when we know that that is my reality, we are also part of the awareness, and I am awareness, then brahmadam prapta. Now, itare sabdavadinaha. Now, what is that? Those people who do not practice, but who only preach, or those who are talking about it without imbibing that knowledge in themselves, atmanishta. So by talking as if it is a textual information or a subject which is being taught in the university or college or in the shastras, there are all people who are called shabdavadinaha. Means their knowledge is limited to the sound or the words which is there in the Upanishad. It doesn't become their knowledge. They don't have the knowing, and being doesn't happen to them in their case. Only those who people have the vritti in a control of Brahma vritti, they are becoming the one with the Brahma, that knowledge, and they become the awareness, or they are the awareness is their knowledge, their experience. Others, they talk it about as the knowledge is the Brahma is a separating, Atma is a separating, Jiva, Brahma, Akya, Aikata. All these are all the juggleries of words. They do not have experiential or personalized knowledge about it, so they can only be considered as Shabdavadinaha. This is what the shloka says. Vijaya Bhagini?
Anji? Suyate Vaji?
Suyate.
एक निमिषं जी. कुशला ब्रह्मवार्तायां वृत्तिहीनाः सुरागिनः तेऽप्यज्ञानीतया न्यूनं पुनरायान्ति यान्ति च। पदच्छेदः कुशला ब्रह्मवार्तायां वृत्तिहीनः सुरागिणः ते अपि अज्ञानितया न्यूनं पुनरायान्ति यान्ति च। अन्वयः ये ब्रह्मवार्तायां कुशला वृत्तिहीनः सुरागिणः ते अपि अज्ञानितया न्यूनं पुनरायान्ति यान्ति च। तदेव तान् एव शब्दवादिनः निन्दन्ति कुशला इति स्पष्टं। तावदेव खलु जि?
धन्यवादः भगिनी।
धन्यवादः जि। धन्यवादः।
This is a continuation of the previous verse where they said, he said Shabdavadinaha, the people who were adept in, what you call oratory, without being, living that what they talk about, the preaching. Kushalaha Brahmavartayam Vrittihina Suraginaha. Now Kushala means dexterous. Brahmavartayam Kushalaha. They are so expert in breaking up the Brahma.
Kim uktam ji?
Dexterous or expert.
Expert, astu ji.
Kushalata means dexterity or kushala expert. You can say expert. Brahmavartayam means
Nipunatvam.
Nipunata, right. Kushalata, Nipunata. They may be able to do all the the typical Nyaya Vaisheshika Marga, Pramana, Avachinna, all those times, Vritti, Lakshanam, Pramanam, all those things, threadbare, they will be unable to analyze the statements of the Upanishad. That these are all people are called Kushala, Brahmavartayam Kushala. But Vrittihinaha, their thoughts are not in Brahma. They are also Suraginaha. They are highly into the enjoyment. Raga means here is sensual enjoyments. The one is what they are doing is only from the point of view of their knowledge of expert of logic and Tarka, Nyaya, Mimamsa, whatever it is. But their mind is always engaged in the engagement of the ragas, sensual organs. They also Ajnanitaya, like a ignorant person. There is no difference between a person who totally do not know about what you call the Upanishad and the Shastra and the words of the Upanishad. And these people who know everything but able to do a threadbare analysis of Vyakarana, Nyaya, Shastra, Mimamsa, all those things they are able to do, but they don't have the vritti of Brahma vritti. So he is like Ajnanitaya. They are all exactly like the Ajnanis between the. See, the knowledge, unless it becomes useful to in your own benefit, no knowledge is of any use. You may have 10 or 20 PhD, or even you may become a professor of Vedanta or super, degree. But in your practice, in your vritti or your mental thought, you are not entertaining that Brahma vritti, Brahmakara vritti. Then you are like any other Suraginaha. So they also. Nunam punarayanti yantincha. They come back again and again as per the Shastra. They take multiple life because it has not made any benefit for them. They do not know. Amrudattam na pashyati. They don't see that the real benefit of the vritti jnanam of Brahmakara vritti. So they also to be treated like the Ajnanis only. Shobha Bhagini?
Mहोदय। निमेषार्धं न तिष्ठन्ति वृत्तिं ब्रह्ममयीं विना यथा तिष्ठन्ति ब्रह्माद्याः सनकाद्याः शुकादयः। पदच्छेदः निमेषार्धं न तिष्ठन्ति वृत्तिं ब्रह्ममयीं विना यथा तिष्ठन्ति ब्रह्माद्याः सनकाद्याः शुकादयः। अन्वयः ब्रह्ममयीं वृत्तिं विना निमेषार्धं न तिष्ठन्ति यथा ब्रह्माद्याः सनकाद्याः शुकादयः तिष्ठन्ति। यत एवं तस्माद् ब्रह्मनिष्ठै ब्रह्मवृत्ति एव सर्वदा स्थातव्यम् इति सूचयितुं ब्रह्मादीनाम् उदाहरणम् आह। निमेषेति यथा ब्रह्माद्यास्तथा सनकायाः यथा सनकाद्याः तथा शुकाद्याः इति संप्रदायो दर्शितः। एतेन ब्रह्मादिसेव्यत्वात् इति श्रेष्ठः अयं समाधिपर्यन्तः राजयोगः सर्वदा मुमुक्षुभिः किल तत्र महोदय मुमुक्षुभिः सेवनीय इति ध्वनितम्। धन्यवादः महोदय।
Now, is it really possible for such anybody to have that Brahmakara Vritti, and as what is being told, to show that there are examples in the Shastras, like Sanakadi Brahmaputras or Shukadaya in the Purana, both in the Shruti as well as Purana. Shruti Smriti, both the places they are being explained it. Nimeshardam na tishtanti. Even for a iota of a second, they are not abiding Brahmamayim Vrittim Vina. Without the Vritti of Brahma, that Vritti, that thought in their mind, without that, they are not even staying for even an iota of a second. Yatha tishtanti. Example like is Brahmadyaha, starting from the Brahma. Brahmadyaha, Sanakadayaha, Sukadayaha. Brahmadi is the Devas. So in the Deva, Brahma is the one who is always engaged in that Brahmakara Vritti only. Then in the Muni Rishi Ganas, there is Sanakadayaha. Sanakadi Saptarshis who are also, when the Brahma created them for progenation, as per the Purana, when they were created, Prajapati created Sanakadiya, they didn't want and go in the world to become progenate and become many people to like the ordinary householders. They don't want. They took up to the Brahmakara Vritti and they refused to become the subsequent Prajapatis for creating the world for the subsequent generations. So they were abiding always in the Brahmakara Vritti only. And even among the people who have born subsequently, the Shukadaya is an example, like the Shuka Brahmarshi, who when he was walking around, he was oblivion about his own body, so that he was not even having a thread on his body. And yet he was totally oblivious about his own body and where he is sitting, where he is sleeping, where he is walking. So those stories are there in the Puranas also. So these examples are being given. So even for a iota of a second, these type of people have never ever removed themselves from that vritti of Brahmamayim vritti. For that this example is being given. Yata evam tasmad brahmanishthaiva brahmavrityeva sada statavyam iti suchayidam brahmadinam udaharanamaha. So this is what is brahmavritti. You have to establish yourself on always in the, and for that udaharanamaha suchayidam. Yada brahmadistha sthan sanagadeyaha. So brahmadi from the Brahma onward to Sanakadaya, that is the first set of people from the Brahma. Yada Sanakadyaha tada Shugadyaha. Both Sanakadi and Shuga, etc., both of them, their mind was only in the Brahmanishta. Iti Sampradayo Darsidaha. That is a tradition like that for those people who have been in the Brahma Vritti. Etena Brahmadi Sevidat Iti Shreshtaha Ayam Samadhi Padyantaha Rajayoga Sarvada Mumukshubi Sevaniya Iti Dhvanitam. So what it is here is proclaimed is that Mumukshubihi, those who are interested in the moksha or the freedom from the delusion of the world as real and separate from the Brahma, they have to Samadhi Padyantam Raja Yoga. They have to do the Raja Yoga of Nididhyasana, what we have been explained in the previous verses as to the Advaita Raja Yoga. Samadhi Padyantam, Nididhyasana Padyantam, how it is to be done, that has to be practiced. Sevaniya, Mumukshubi, those who are in the interest of the Brahmakara Vritti, how to maintain that is explained in the 15 steps of the Raja Yoga in the previous verses. So that should be continued is what Acharya is saying here. Then the next shloka, Chantu Mahodaya, can you read it?
महोदय कार्ये कारणतायाता कारणेन हि कार्यता कारणत्वं ततो गच्छेत् कार्यभावे विचारतः पदच्छेदः कार्ये कारणता आयाता कारणे न हि कार्यता कारणत्वं ततः गच्छेत् कार्याभावे विचारतः कारणे कार्ये कारणता आयाता कारणे कार्यता नहि ततः विचारतः कार्याभावे कारणत्वं गच्छेत् तदेव स्वाभिमतं सांगराजयोगम् अभिधाय पूर्व उपक्रांतं सांख्या पर पर्यायम वेदांत विचार मुक्त सबरति कार्य इत्यादि पंचभिः शोकै कार्येति कार्ये घटपयदि रूपे विकारे कारणता मृतत्वा विरूपा सर्वविकारा अधिष्ठानता आयाता अनुगता कारणेतु कार्यता नहिं इति प्रसिद्ध ततः कारणात् कार्याभावे कारणत्वं गच्छेत् ननु कथं कारणे कार्याभाव इत्यत आह विचारत इति यथायं दृष्टान्तः तथा आकाशादिकाये कारणता आकाशोऽस्ति भाति आकाशः अस्ति भाति त्यादि व्यवहार हेतुभूता सत्य ज्ञान आदि रूप ब्रह्मण कारणता आयाता अनुगता कारणे ब्रह्मणि तु आकाश आदि कार्यतान हिति अतः परमार्थतः आकाशय भावे ब्रह्मण कारणता अपि नहिति दाष्टोति को अर्थः दाष्टोति को अर्थः
No, I think there's a spelling mistake there. Rashtra. Anyway, I'll check that. Karya karana tayata karane nahi karyata karanatvam tato gachet karya bhave vicharata. What does Anvaya say? Karye karanata ayata karane karyata nahi tata vicharataha karya bhave karanatvam gachet. What does the statement say? Karye, in the effect, karanata ayata, the cause is coming. Karane karyata nahi. In the cause, the effect is not there. Tata vicharataha, thinking like that, karya bhave karanatvam gachet. In the absence of the effect, the causality itself vanishes or is not there. The world is, we are thinking as an effect, because for the people who think the world is real, the Shruti itself is giving the explanation of Tasmad Akasha Sambhuta. From that the space came, Akashat Vayo, Vayor Agni, Agnerāpaha, Addi Pradivya. The gradation of creation is given in the Taittiriya Upanishad and the other Upanishads. As if there is a causality in Brahman, and therefore the effect is that what is seen as the world outside. From what we have studied from this, in these slokas before that, the effect which we are seeing in the world outside, in reality, they are not effects, they are mere appearances, and the effect itself is nothing but the cause appearing as effect, but it has not really become a separate from the cause. Now, if you look at the waves, the appearance of the waves is the effect, because the water of the ocean is the cause for it, because in which it is appearing. But when we see that there is a causality in ocean, that is why the wave is appearing as wave. That mentality which we have entertained is the reason why we do not see the wave and the ocean as one, unless until vicharataha, until we inquire about it. Similar should be our approach to the world of experiences. The world of experiences which we are experiencing, we are giving them reality without the awareness of in which they are appearing. And we also know that if we are not aware of anything which is there, that object or that effect is never a matter of concern for us, or even we can group them all into the unknowns, which is itself is in awareness. The entire unknown can be brought into in one form, that I am aware of my unknown entities which are not known to me. So that not knowingness or not knowing the nature of things is also in awareness, because bhava abhava rupena. This is that sadasat vilakshanam. It's a big subject by itself. I'm not getting to it now. Why do we have that feeling of, things which are not known? How do they exist when we do not know what exists? So that is a different subject. It's a very long discussion in the Chandogya Upanishad by Shankaracharya on that issue. But here, let us, for example, understand this very simple statement from that. The cause itself is in the form of effect. But the effect is called an effect only when the cause is given the attribution of causality. But when we know that the effect is nothing but the cause, for example, the ornaments are nothing but the gold itself, then the causality in the gold is no more there. The gold itself is ornament, or ornament is gold. The pot is mud, or mud is itself is pot. So there is that karyabhave karanatvam gachet. The effect is, when we see it is as a separate, then only the karanatvam has a meaning in it. Tadeva swavimatam sangam rajayogam abhidaya purva upakrantam sankyapara paryayam vedanta vicharam mukta sabarita karyam ityadi panjabihi. So here he is talking about Sankhya system, which is says that there is Purusha and the Prakriti, and the Prakriti is becoming many, and in the presence of Purusha only the Prakriti is becoming many, and therefore Purusha becomes many with the Prakriti in the thing. So Vedanta Vichara Muktam. So that is not without thinking about the Upanishad statement, is what the statement of the Sankhya is there. Shauka karye karya gadapayadi rupe vigare karanata mritvadi virupata sarva vikaradishtanata ayada anugata karane tu karyata na him iti prasiddha tata karanatva karyavave karanatvam gachet. So that is being explained about that mud and the pot. The pot is an effect of vikara of mud. So that vikara, or the transformation of mud into form of a pot, it mritatva virupa, that different from the lump of the clay, it is in the shape of a pot. So for that, sarva vikara adhisthana ayata punagata karanetu karyata nasti. Now in this one we say that it is not a formation of separate entity as a pot. The pot form which is being seen as a pot now is in the lump of clay, but it is not visible. The potency to become a pot is hidden in the lump of the clay. Therefore, we do not see the pot in the lump of the clay. Only when the shape, the name and the form comes up, the pot has got a vikara, or the transformation from the lump of the clay. But the potency of the pot to become a pot is present even in the lump of the clay, just as the potency to become ornaments is there in the gold. But we do not see the potency in the gold when it is in the form of a bar or in a lump of gold. Same way, we should understand that the effect which is seen is non-different from the substratum from which is coming from. Nanu katam karane karyabhava ityadaha vichara iti. Now, if you are thinking that karyam is not there in the karanam, that is, the pot is not there in the lump. If you are saying that way, it is because you are not thinking about it. The gold, the ornament is not there in the gold. If you are saying that, it is because you are not thinking about it. The potency to become an ornament is always there, but we are not, because we do not see it. You cannot say that the effect gold ornament cannot be there as a seed or a potential in the gold itself. यथा अयं दृष्टान्तः तदा आकाशादि कार्यं कारणता आकाशो इति भाति इत्यादि व्यवहार हेतुभूता सत्यज्ञानादि रूप ब्रह्मणा कारणता आयाता अनुगता कारणे ब्रह्मणि तु आकाशादि कार्यता न हि इति अतः परमार्थता आकाशयभावे ब्रह्मणा कारणत्वापि न हि इति दृष्टान्तौ इति को अर्थः दाष्टान्तिको इत्यर्थः दाष्टान्तिकत्यर्थः. So here it is also saying about Akashadi has come from Brahma. So Brahma is a Karana from which the Akashadi has come out. Now similar to the ornament and the gold or the pot and the mud, this Akashadi as separate is not there from the Brahma. It's a Brahma itself, that Sat, it is in the form of awareness. In the awareness, when you are not aware of the Akasha, doesn't mean that Akasha is not there in awareness. Anything you can say, Akasha is only one example. Anything which you say that if you are not aware, doesn't mean in that awareness is in the awareness it is not existing. It is existing in awareness as an unknown today till now. Like the pot form and name was unknown when it was there as a potency in the mud, or the ornament's name and form was unknown when it was in the potency in the gold. Same way, anything which is not experienced or it's even experienced, both experienced and both known and unknown are there in the awareness. Only when you analyze it and think about it, you will know that without a cause, nothing can appear. The appearance cannot be separated out from the cause. If you remove the cause from the effect has no independent existence. Therefore, the effect is nothing but the cause itself in another name and form, which is because of our delusion or our forgetting the nature of the effect, the reality of the nature of the effect. So if the mud is removed from the pot name and form doesn't exist. The gold is removed from the ornaments, the ornaments have no independent existence. Same way, both the known and the unknown in the world of experience, if the awareness is removed from that, neither the known nor the unknown can have an independent existence. This is with the example what is being given in this shloka. We will stop here now. Another 135, another 44, another 9 mantras, shlokas are there, which will be able to complete in the next class. With that, I think Aparokshanubhuti will come to an end. So after the next class, we will decide as to what we should do. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada. Namaskara.